And I am aware in saying that it goes against the grain. As you sometimes heard me say, I have to convince people to do things today. We all sell one way or another. I'm in business to get people to do things. And it goes against my grain when I have to say to someone, no, I'm not going to do that for you. But it's the wise thing to do nowadays. And we're seeing more complaints if someone does bring a complaint because you've helped them do something really dumb and it's cost them a bunch of money, you will not get any sympathy from an investigator or a regulator. And we've actually seen stuff at work where we really thought the advisor was on safe ground, and where adjudicators disagreed and hold them liable for booking some kind of trade or purchase that was not suitable.
Arthur?
Yeah.
When you decline to take the instructions, what's the next step?
It depends on what you. So did everybody get a question? If you decline to take the instruction, the first step is you confirm that in writing. I'm just not going to do it, and here's why.
Don't you say that won't hold muster if there's an investigation?
No, because you haven't done it. So if in the old days it would have been, okay, I'm sending you a letter confirming that I told you not to do it. And once you sign the letter back, I'll do it for you. Now you're just saying, I'm not doing that at all. I'm just not going to do it for you. And you're confirming in writing that you gave that advice to the person, and you're putting your reasons down for refusing to do it. And then
without his signature.
You're the one saying, you're not doing anything. Right? You're just confirming that you were asked to do something, and you've now said, I'm not going to do that. And the implication is, if you want someone to do that for you, you're going to have to find someone else. And really the way you're thinking about it is, we are in business to give our clients advice, not to give them access to our errors and omissions coverage. So let's talk a little bit more about incapacity. And this is, again, the practical thing. Capacity may fluctuate. And I actually pulled 2 quotes off the Mayo Clinic website that they give you a nice little potted description of the difference between delirium and dementia. Dementia is progressive, it doesn't get better. We all know, again, how many of us are trying to look after an older friend or relative who's in the process of slowly losing their capacity? Yeah, probably about 10 or 15% of the room. So, I mean, you know what it looks like. Dementia doesn't get better. And you know, that you'll often see, it'll show up as marked changes in the customer's own demeanor. That's the other thing I should have said. That's the other way we know that something's wrong. And that's the other reason why we have to put more emphasis on staying in contact with our clients and knowing them fairly well. Because if you know what the baseline is, you're going to be able to spot changes. And the signs of change will often be relatively subtle. It'll be the person who always shows up, nattily dressed, wearing a jacket and tie, with polished shoes, who comes, and we give this one at work, who all of a sudden shows up in a dirty lime green tracksuit, wearing a Make America Great t-shirt.
I'm safe.
So, you know, so what tells you something's up is it's not just some abstract thing. It's measured against what this person has historically been. Something's changed and not for the better. That's when you start looking and asking, what is it? And sometimes what you're going to hear is, we've seen it with mom. We know we have to do something. Maybe we've got a diagnosis or a probable diagnosis, and we were just sort of playing for time, and probably we're now at the moment where we've got to go do something. Thank you for calling us. By the way, from a human perspective, you've just done something good. You've just done something good for someone. Instead of letting some older person wander around the world until maybe they meet up with a fraudster or an abuser or a scam artist, you've now done what little you can to actually make their life and their family's life a little bit better. So feel good. Number two, you've now shown that person's family that you are a genuinely caring person and a trusted advisor, and you've just opened up the possibility that maybe, just maybe, they're going to continue to bring their business to you, whereas otherwise they wouldn't know you from a hole in the wall, and once your customer is no longer making the decisions, you've no longer got a customer. So it's one of those wonderful moments in life where what's good as a human being is also what's good for business, and how often does that happen? Question?
Can we suggest to stay out of it completely? In other words, can we stop being the advisor and say something along the lines, I don't feel that it's fair for you to have me, I'm not familiar with this situation, please look for somebody else to look after your financial affairs.
So the question is, can you just back out when you think someone's incapable? The answer is usually not. Right, because now you need to know, and it depends on what the assets are. But with whether you're on the insurance side or on the security side, I didn't ask this time, but in the past, how many of you are dual license? So you're selling products on both sides? Yeah, it's almost the entire room. So you may be holding positions in securities that are market timed. You've now got information maybe that tells you the investments are no longer appropriate. If you're holding policies, maybe payments have to be made, or renewal decisions have to be made. Once you think the person's incapable, you can't just say, bye. Right? You've got to do something. Otherwise, if nothing else, you won't know that you've got a reliable and valid instruction to transfer control of the assets to somebody else. So that's part of it. Once you're in this game, once you're serving this population, there's no easy way out. You just have to be preparing yourself for the prospect that if you're dealing with an older population, you're going to be seeing more instances of inability or possible inability to make decisions, and you've got to be ready to deal with it. And if you're not prepared to do that, then you probably should not be working for this population. Okay, right? Because once the problem starts, there is no easy fix. At the back?
What if you die?
Sorry, what if you die? Can you hear me? If you're gone? Yeah, well, that's a problem, isn't it? We all need to be thinking about this for ourselves. And that's actually one of the other things, I'll come to you in a second. That's actually one of the other things I've been talking about now. Amongst lawyers, so my managing partner came to me a year ago and said, we love you, keep working, but what's your succession plan? And we'll work with you, and you'll keep working, but we expect you to play ball and recognize that you're not going to be able to do what you do, whatever, and because this is a place where we help one another and cooperate, you need to be organizing your life and your practice so that you're mentoring young people, and so that if something happens to you, there's someone knowledgeable who can pick up the phone and respond to calls or respond to emails, and who knows what to do. Physician, heal thyself. We are all, not all, but the majority of this room is aging, and we all need to be taking the same medicine that we are providing to our customers. Who's your attorney for property? Who have you got? Who's the professional associate that's going to step in and look after your book of business if you can no longer look after it? And then there's the hardest decision of all. I've made this one personally, which is I want to leave what I do with people saying that guy was good, not with people saying you should have known him when he was good. And part of all this is taking a lesson, not being the person in the gray zone who, because you were really good for a long time, think that you're always going to be able to function at that level, because almost none of us will be able to, and we have to plan for it. See, you shouldn't ask the question. So I want to talk a bit about powers of attorney, because the three things, the three areas are actually, let me stop. Are there more questions?
Yeah. Quick question.
Yeah.
In our practice, like some of these people we deal with, like in my case, 20 years. So when it comes to mental capacity, right? I'm not a physician to determine whether somebody is mentally capable of making decisions or not. Trades are time sensitive. If it's a large amount in a day, it could be like $10,000 difference. So now we have to make a snap judgment and be a doctor to determine somebody's mental capacity, in addition to that. So yeah, if we catch something like that, what should we do? Should we just refuse to trade and go to the doctor to get a note saying he's mentally capable of making decisions?
So the question is, what if I've got a time-sensitive trade instruction, and that sounds like a securities type question.
Absolutely.
And on the securities side, you've got a due execution rule.
Absolutely.
Right? So your regulator expects you to execute trades with dispatch once you've got an instruction. And so I told you it was going to happen. Someone saying to me, am I now supposed to be a doctor if I think my client is incapable and refuse to trade? The answer is, there's a few parts to the answer. That's why you need to be talking to your clients. Because if you're not in regular contact, which means at least once a year, sitting down face to face, so you've got a read on where they're at. That's number one. And number two, if you don't have someone to call, if you think something may be wrong and you need some help in dealing with it, you're now in exactly the position you've described, which is you're expected to be judge, jury, and executioner. You've got to make the call about whether or not this person